The glowing red sun dipped below the horizon, casting an eerie crimson hue on the alien landscape. Kepler 186f loomed beneath the spaceship as Commander Ava Solaris and her crew prepared for descent. Ava's steely eyes surveyed the control panel before her, every button and switch a testament to humanity's relentless pursuit of knowledge. In the quiet moments before their final approach, she allowed herself a fleeting smile. "All right, team," Ava said, her voice steady and commanding. "This is it, the moment we've been waiting for. We're about to make history." A chorus of excited affirmations filled the cabin, each crew member wearing a grin that matched Ava's own. Their anticipation crackled through the air like electricity. Years of training, planning, and dreaming had led them to this moment, and in just a few minutes, they would finally set foot on this enigmatic exoplanet. As the ship began its descent, Ava's fingers danced across the controls with practiced precision. Her thoughts wandered to the countless simulations she had run, each one preparing her for the challenges that lay ahead. She knew there were dangers lurking in the cosmos, but she also believed that humanity's thirst for knowledge could overcome any obstacle. "Commander Solaris," called out Dr. Theo Marsden, his voice tinged with excitement, "we're entering the atmosphere. All systems are green." "Excellent, Dr. Marsden," Ava replied, nodding in approval. "Stay sharp, everyone. We don't know what to expect down there." The vessel shuddered as it pierced the veil of Kepler 186f's atmosphere, the reddish hues of the sky outside intensifying as they drew closer to the surface. Ava's heart pounded in her chest, a cacophony of excitement, fear, and determination echoing through her veins. 10,000 meters in closing," announced Isabella. Izzy Cortez, the ship's navigator. "Landing site is just a few kilometers away." "Prepare for touchdown," Ava instructed, her voice betraying only the slightest hint of apprehension. The crew braced themselves as the ship descended rapidly toward the alien terrain. Just as they were about to make contact with the ground, a sudden burst of static filled the cabin. Ava's eyes widened in surprise as an unexpected transmission flickered across one of the monitors. "Wait, hold on," she said, her curiosity piqued. "There's something... a signal?" "Commander?" Izzy asked, confusion etched on her face. "What kind of signal?" Ava studied the monitor, trying to decipher the garbled message. Its origin was close, perhaps even on the planet's surface. The distress call gnawed at her curiosity like a ravenous beast, and she couldn't help but feel compelled to investigate. "Change of plans," Ava announced, her voice resolute. "We're going to follow this signal. It could be another explorer or something else entirely. Either way, we need to find out what it is." "Understood, Commander," Izzy replied, adjusting their course as the rest of the crew exchanged glances, uncertainty mingling with excitement. They had come seeking answers, and now it seemed that the cosmos had provided them with a tantalizing mystery. As they ventured deeper into the crimson world of Kepler 186f, following the enigmatic distress signal, Ava Solaris couldn't shake the feeling that they were on the precipice of something monumental and perhaps unfathomable. Ava stared at the monitor, the distress signal pulsing like a beacon in the darkness. The crimson atmosphere outside their spacecraft cast an eerie glow over her face as she contemplated their next move. Her heart raced, and for a moment, she felt as if the shadows themselves whispered secrets to her. "Dr. Marsden, Izzy, I need your input," Ava said, her voice steady despite the unease settling in her chest. They gathered around her, their eyes locked on the enigmatic signal. "Commander, this could be a trap," Dr. Marsden warned, his gentle demeanor unable to mask the concern in his eyes. "Or it could simply be a malfunctioning transmitter. We don't know what awaits us out there." "True, but we can't ignore it either," Ava replied, her steely gaze never leaving the screen. "If there's someone, or something, out there that needs our help, it's our duty to investigate." Izzy's fiery hair seemed to mirror her determination as she chimed in. "And if it is a threat, we'll handle it. We're not some rookies bumbling around the cosmos." Ava took a deep breath, her mind racing with possibilities, both wondrous and terrifying. What if this signal led them to a discovery beyond their wildest dreams? Or worse, what if it exposed them to horrors they couldn't comprehend? "All right, we proceed," she finally decided, her voice firm. "But with caution. We'll keep our guard up and stay vigilant. No unnecessary risks." "Understood, Commander." Dr. Marsden and Izzy responded in unison, their faces reflecting a mix of relief and anticipation. Beneath the darkening sky of Kepler 186f, the crew disembarked from their spacecraft, each step sinking into the alien terrain. Following the signal's coordinates, they ventured through a landscape that seemed to defy logic. Towering rock formations twisted into unnatural shapes, while viscous, luminescent pools emitted haunting, ethereal whispers. "Stay focused," Ava reminded herself, her thoughts threatening to spiral into the abyss of fear. "Concentrate on the mission." As they pressed forward, the weather took a sinister turn. A sudden, violent storm lashed at them with icy tendrils, and the wind howled like the damned. The air itself seemed charged with an otherworldly energy, as if the very fabric of reality were being warped by unknown forces. "Commander, are you sure about this?" Dr. Marsden shouted over the maddening gale, his eyes wide with apprehension. "Trust me," Ava replied, her voice strained but determined. She couldn't let her crew down, not when they had come so far. They had to see this through, no matter what terrors lurked in the shadows. And so, they trudged onward, driven by a thirst for knowledge and an indomitable will to face the darkness. As the distress signal grew stronger, Ava felt a shiver run down her spine, an unsettling sense of déjà vu that she couldn't explain. "Stay strong," she whispered to herself, steeling her resolve. "We're almost there." Unbeknownst to them, their journey had only just begun, and the cosmic secrets waiting to be uncovered would test their sanity and challenge everything they thought they knew about the universe. The ground beneath their feet trembled, and a low, guttural hum reverberated through the air. Ava Solaris, her eyes wide with wonder, stared at the massive, intricately carved gateway emerging from the deep recesses of Kepler 186f's surface. The alien symbols etched into its stone-like exterior danced in the faint glow of the distant sun, casting eerie shadows that seemed to writhe and coil upon themselves. "By the stars, what is this place?" Izzy Cortez breathed in awe, her fingers tracing the sinuous lines of an alien script with a mixture of reverence and fear. "An entrance to the very heart of cosmic mysteries, I imagine," Dr. Theo Marsden murmured, his voice shaking with emotion. It was clear that whatever lay beyond the gateway held answers they had been seeking for so long, and yet Eva couldn't shake the nagging feeling that they were venturing into something far more profound and terrifying than they could ever have anticipated. As if summoned by their thoughts, a figure materialized before them, its form shrouded in an aura of iridescent light. "Greetings, travelers," it intoned, its voice echoing with the weight of eons. "I am Zalreth, a representative of the ancient Za'ari race." "Za'ari?" Eva asked, her curiosity momentarily overcoming her apprehension. "I've never heard of your kind before. What can you tell us about this place?" "Your curiosity is understandable, but I must warn you," Zalreth replied, its tone somber. "This gateway leads to a realm of cosmic horror, and within it lies an entity beyond your comprehension, the Devourer." The mention of the Devourer sent a chill down Eva's spine, as if 1,000 icy tendrils were wrapping themselves around her soul. She exchanged glances with Dr. Marsden and Izzy, the gravity of Zalreth's words sinking in. "Tell us more about this Devourer," Eva demanded, her voice wavering ever so slightly. "Why should we fear it?" "Because it threatens the very fabric of reality itself," Zalreth answered gravely. "The Devourer is a malevolent, primordial entity that seeks to unmake all of creation, and its presence here poses a danger to your kind and all others." Ava weighed the risks in her mind, torn between her duty to protect her crew and humanity, and the tantalizing prospect of uncovering ancient knowledge. She clenched her fists, her resolve hardening. "If this Devourer is as dangerous as you say, then we must do everything in our power to stop it." "Your courage is commendable," Zalreth said solemnly. "But know this, to face the Devourer is to confront the very essence of cosmic dread, to peer into the abyss and risk being consumed by it." "Then let us hope the abyss doesn't stare back," Eva replied, her gaze fixed on the imposing gateway ahead. The gateway loomed before them, its intricate carvings undulating like a living tapestry of nightmares. Ava's heart raced as she stared at the dark maw, a testament to the countless civilizations that had fallen before its terrible secrets. She turned to face her crew, her eyes reflecting both determination and fear. "Listen," she said, her voice steady and commanding. "I won't lie. This is the most dangerous thing we've ever faced, but we cannot turn back now. If the Devourer threatens all of existence, then it is our duty as explorers and protectors of humanity to confront it. Are you with me? Dr. Marsden and Izzy exchanged nervous glances, but ultimately nodded their assent. The weight of their decision hung heavily in the air, as oppressive as the alien atmosphere pressing down upon them. Then let's go, Eva whispered, taking the first step towards the yawning abyss. As they crossed the threshold of the gateway, reality itself seemed to fracture around them. Stars whirled and danced, birthing galaxies that spiraled and collapsed in the blink of an eye. Nebulae coalesced from nothingness, painting the void in swirling hues of indigo and crimson. By the gods, Dr. Marsden breathed, his scientific curiosity momentarily overpowering his trepidation. It's beautiful. Stay alert, Eva warned, her eyes scanning the kaleidoscopic chaos for any sign of the Devourer or other dangers. Remember, we're here for a reason. Right, Izzy chimed in, gripping her weapon tightly. We have to find the Devourer and stop it before it can do any more damage. Agreed, Dr. Marsden added, awed by the cosmic phenomena surrounding them. But we must also learn as much as we can about this place. Knowledge could be our greatest weapon. Very well, Eva said, her mind awash with conflicting emotions, fear, curiosity, and a deep sense of responsibility. We'll press on, but we must be cautious. Our lives, and the fate of the universe itself, may depend on our actions here. As they ventured deeper into the unfathomable realm, the crew was left to wonder if they would ever return from this journey into cosmic madness, or if their minds would succumb to the horrors lurking within the heart of the abyss. The landscape before them seemed to ripple, an undulating sea of colors and shapes that no human mind could truly grasp. Eva felt her stomach turn as her eyes strained to make sense of the impossible geometries and twisted dimensions, a cacophony of sights that defied all reason. Commander, Dr. Marsden said, his voice tinged with awe. Look at those structures. Ava's gaze followed his outstretched arm, landing on what appeared to be a city of floating islands, each one connected by ethereal bridges that shimmered in the air. Structures spiraled upwards in defiance of gravity, their architecture an amalgamation of organic and crystalline forms. Are those inhabited? Izzy asked, her voice wavering. Only one way to find out, Eva replied, her determination pushing her forward despite the creeping dread that gnawed at the edges of her mind. As they approached one of the floating islands, they found themselves surrounded by beings that seemed to materialize from the very fabric of the cosmos itself. Their forms were ever-changing, ephemeral, as if their physical appearance was merely a suggestion rather than a fixed construct. Welcome, travelers, one of the beings spoke, its voice as fluid as its form. We are the Animatar. You must have come far to reach this place. Indeed, Eva answered, struggling to maintain eye contact with a being whose features shifted like sand through an hourglass. We seek knowledge and allies in our fight against a great evil, the Devourer. Many have sought to face the Devourer, yet none have returned, another Animatar said solemnly. But perhaps your journey need not end in despair. There is one among us who may be able to guide you. Who? Eva asked, hope flaring within her chest like a beacon. Seren al-Rahim, the Animatar replied. She has survived encounters with the Devourer's twisted progeny and knows their ways. She may be able to help you navigate the treacherous paths that lie ahead. Bring her to us, Eva urged, feeling a renewed sense of purpose. A figure emerged from the kaleidoscopic maelstrom, her dark eyes betraying a haunted past, but also an unwavering determination. Seren stepped forward, extending a hand to Eva. Commander Solaris, I've heard much about you, Seren said, her grip firm. Together we might stand a chance against the Devourer. Then let's not waste any time, Eva said, sensing the weight of the universe pressing down upon them. Tell us what you know, and guide us through this labyrinth of wormholes and cosmic horrors. Very well, Seren agreed, her voice steady despite the overwhelming odds they faced. But remember, our minds are fragile things, easily shattered by the truths lurking within these depths. We must steel ourselves against the darkness, lest it consume us whole. As they followed Seren deeper into the enigmatic realm, Eva couldn't shake the creeping dread that gnawed at her soul. But she knew that they had no choice but to press on, for the fate of all creation hung in the balance. Under the pulsating shadows of a colossal swirling vortex, Eva stared into the abyss, feeling as though it were staring back at her. The crew followed Seren through tunnels of vibrating darkness that seemed to defy geometry and space, their faces pale and strained as they struggled to grasp the bizarre phenomena around them. "Stay close," Seren warned, her voice echoing strangely within the twisting corridors. "The wormholes are ever shifting, and it's easy to be lost in the labyrinthine passages." "Lost?" Izzy murmured, her eyes darting nervously between the undulating walls. "What happens if we get lost?" "Your mind will be unraveled by the incomprehensible forces at play here, leaving you a hollow shell," Seren replied grimly. As they ventured deeper, reality seemed to warp around them. At times, the very fabric of existence appeared to tear open, revealing glimpses of other worlds and dimensions, only to mend itself once more. Their perception of time wavered, moments stretching into eons before snapping back to the present. "Commander," Dr. Marsden whispered, his voice trembling with fear and awe. "I've studied the cosmos all my life, but I could never have imagined anything like this. It's both beautiful and terrifying." Ava nodded, her thoughts echoing his sentiment. She couldn't shake the sense of dread that gnawed at her, yet she was enraptured by the cosmic spectacle before her. In this place, the laws of physics seemed to bend and twist, as though bowing to some unfathomable power lurking just out of sight. "Tell us more about the Devourer," she urged Zalreth, who floated nearby, their ethereal form shimmering in the kaleidoscopic light. "We need to know what we're up against." "Very well." Zalreth's voice reverberated through Ava's mind, filling her with an icy dread. "The Devourer is as ancient as the cosmos itself, a primordial entity that seeks to unmake all of creation. It is a force of entropy, driven by an insatiable hunger to consume and destroy." "Destroy?" Izzy's voice cracked with fear. "You mean it wants to eat us?" Devourer was perhaps too simple a term for such an unfathomable presence. The crew's understanding of the word consume was not enough to encompass the horrors it inflicted upon existence. "Far worse," Zalreth replied, their tone solemn. "The Devourer does not merely consume matter. It unravels the very essence of reality, leaving nothing in its wake but void and chaos." "Is there any way to stop it?" Eva asked, her heart pounding as she contemplated the apocalyptic consequences of failing their mission. "Unknown," Zalreth admitted. "However, you carry within you the potential to defy the Devourer, to stand against the darkness that threatens to swallow the universe whole." "Then we have no choice but to push forward," Eva said, steeling herself against the terror that clawed at her soul. "We won't let this cosmic abomination destroy everything we hold dear." "Indeed," Seren agreed, her eyes blazing with determination. "But remember, Commander, our minds are fragile things. We must remain vigilant, lest the vastness of the cosmos shatter our sanity." As they continued their journey into the heart of the wormhole network, Eva couldn't help but feel the enormity of their task weighing down on her. But with each step, she also felt a wellspring of courage growing within her. For if humanity had any hope of surviving the cosmic horrors that awaited them, it would be through the unwavering determination of her crew. Ava watched as the wormhole network twisted and contorted before her, its once stable passages now collapsing into chaotic bouts of energy. Her heart raced at the sight, fear and awe intermingling in her chest. "Commander, we've got company!" cried Dr. Marsden, his voice strained by the effort of piloting their vessel through the rapidly shifting tunnels. "Show me!" Eva demanded, her eyes locked on the view screen. A grotesque form materialized from the shadows, tendrils of darkness coiling around it like serpents. The abomination's eyes burned with malice, a beacon of malevolence that sent shivers down Ava's spine. She recognized this monstrosity as Nyx, the twisted progeny of the Devourer. "Full power to the shields!" Eva barked, her fingers gripping the armrests of her chair. "We need to keep moving." "Commander, I don't know how much longer we can hold out," Izzy Cortez admitted, her eyes darting between the rapidly fluctuating readings on her console. "Stay focused, Izzy," Eva replied, swallowing the lump of fear in her throat. "We've come too far to give up now." As they plunged deeper into the collapsing wormhole network, Lars Vikernes, the battle-hardened warrior who had joined their cause, stood ready to face Nyx. His scarred face remained expressionless, betraying no sign of fear or doubt. Eva admired his stoicism, but couldn't help the gnawing feeling of dread that clawed at her insides. "Watch out!" Seren al-Rahim shouted, as she deftly maneuvered their ship to avoid a massive tendril of darkness that sought to ensnare them.
"Thank you, Siren,"
Eva breathed, her heart pounding in her ears.
"Of course, Commander. We're in this together,"
Siren replied, a determined glint in her eyes. Nyx unleashed a torrent of dark energy, its horrifying form shifting and contorting as it closed in on their vessel. Lars stood resolute, his weapon poised to strike. Eva knew the risks they faced, but couldn't deny the necessity of their mission. Humanity's fate rested in the balance, and she refused to let all of creation fall into oblivion. "Commander," Lars said, his voice steady, "I'll hold off Nyx. You must find a way to stop the Devourer."
"Are you sure, Lars?"
Eva asked, concern etched across her face. A veil of darkness descended upon the crew, consuming the light and hope that had once fueled their journey. Eva's heart ached with the loss of Lars, his final stand against Nyx still vivid in her memory. The remaining crew members huddled together, the weight of despair pressing down on them like a crushing force. "Commander," Dr. Marsden said, his voice barely a whisper. "What do we do now?" Eva looked around at her crew, each face etched with fear and uncertainty. They needed guidance, but even she struggled to find the words to offer solace. As if sensing her thoughts, Zalrith appeared before them, an ethereal glow emanating from his slender form. "Children of the stars," he began, his voice filled with a calm wisdom that seemed to pierce the oppressive gloom. "I know your hearts are heavy with sorrow and doubt, but I implore you to remember the purpose of your journey." "Can we really stop the Devourer?" Izzy asked, her fiery spirit subdued by the gravity of their situation. "Your destiny is not yet written," Zalrith replied. "The universe has chosen you as its champions, for it recognizes the strength within each of you." "Strength?" Eva questioned, her steely gaze meeting his. "We just lost one of our own. How can we possibly face such overwhelming odds?" "Loss is a part of life, Commander Solaris," Zalrith said gently. "And it is through adversity that we find our true potential. Do not let your fear dictate your actions. Let it fuel your resolve." Eva closed her eyes, allowing his words to seep into her very being. In the depths of her soul, she felt something stir, a flickering flame that refused to be extinguished. "Zalrith is right," Dr. Marsden said, his warm smile returning. "We owe it to Lars and every other life at stake to continue our mission." "Agreed," Eva murmured, opening her eyes and feeling a renewed sense of purpose. "We will face the Devourer, and we will prevail. We must." "Then let us proceed," Siren said, determination shining in her dark eyes. "Together we will navigate the unknown and defy the impossible." As the crew united under the banner of hope, Zalreth's ethereal glow intensified, casting away the darkness that had threatened to consume them. With newfound strength, they prepared to confront the Devourer and protect all of creation from the jaws of oblivion.